I get it. I'd do the same thing if I were seated there. Happy Wednesday, everybody. It's almost Christmas, which means I better start that batch of cookies for Santa before it's too late. Or before Larry Kudlow buys up all the butter. It's weird, he doesn't even bake. So let's talk about language. On Monday, Stanford University, the poor man's Chico State, published a language guide which, quote, aims to eliminate harmful language, including racist, violent, and biased language, this is redundant, in Stanford websites and code. Of course, they ignore the most harmful words of all. Your tuition for this will be 60 grand a year. The banned words came in several categories like ableist, culturally appropriative, gender-based, imprecise language, and institutionalized racism. Thankfully, there's nothing in there about knock-knock jokes. Like this one, knock-knock. Who's there? You, Stanford. So, that's one swear word. So under the ableist category, instead of using basket case, say nervous. Apparently, basket case once referred to a limbless person who must be carried around in a basket. I didn't know that, and I see myself as a basket case. Well, since I commute in one on Bill Hemmer's bicycle. Instead of walk-in hours, say open hours to be more inclusive to those with disabilities. Of course, they didn't factor in this man's feelings. Get it? Walk-in?
Walk-in.
For walk-in.
Solid.
Thank you. Under imprecise language, instead of using the term American, say U.S. citizen. That's because American implies the U.S. is the most important country in the Americas. When we all know it's really Canada. But even U.S. citizens, that'll be imprecise by the time Biden's done. Half the people in America won't be one. Yeah, ooh, red meat. Yum, yum. Instead of Karen, use demanding or entitled white woman.
That's worse.
But isn't using white a new form of institutionalized racism? I mean, imagine if it were reversed. Instead of saying Maxine, you say demanding or entitled black woman. You'd be canceled faster than a Chris Wallace talk show.
Never over.
Yeah. Don't say straight, say heterosexual, because it implies anyone who's gay is bent and therefore not normal. Especially if they have Peyronie's disease. I never should have tried to hop that fire hydrant in 1989. But now they have great drugs. They say... That commercial's on Fox all the time. They show a bent banana. People know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's a carrot
right?
stick.
It's a bent banana. It's a carrot.
Yeah.
Banana's already bent, Greg. They say to swap peanut gallery with audience or hecklers or critics instead, because the term refers to cheap seats in theaters where blacks sat during the vaudeville era. It's true, but George Washington Carver also made the peanut popular worldwide. But hey, Stanford, thanks for bringing up something that most black or white people didn't even know was racist and then giving us something else to fight about 90 years later. Thank you so much. That's okay. I don't need the applause. I'm healthy. Don't say thug, say suspect or criminal, because that's racist and thugs have feelings even as they mug you. Hell, let's just start calling them gentlemen. Did you see that gentleman sucker punch that 80-year-old Asian lady? I hope that gentleman doesn't rape again once they let him out. You happy now, Stanford? Speaking of racism, no more brown bag. Just say lunch and learn. So now you can't call brown things brown, like a bag or a suit or your hair. Or do I have to refer to my shoes as lunch-colored? which they are when I get too drunk. I wonder if Hefty will have to change the name of their bags. Hefty. I mean, think about who that offends. Hefty, hefty, hefty. Remember that? Black sheep is out to be replaced by outcast, which is great if you're in the Taliban. It's less embarrassing to say you're screwing an outcast. Also, You got to replace gangbusters with very successful, because even MS-13 needs a safe space. And instead of calling someone Chief, why not just use their name? So, like, instead of saying, how you doing, Chief, just say, hello, Miss Warren. Yeah. Probably should end there, but I won't. You're not supposed to say preferred pronouns. It's just pronouns because preferred implies that non-binary gender is a preference. So now it's not a preference. So we're back to being born that way. But then if you're born that way, why would you use surgery to undo how you were physically and healthily born? At least you can see your biology with your eyes. I'm thinking the pronoun for whoever made these rules is dumbass. Instead of ballsy, you say bold or risk taker. How ironic in that changing ballsy is exactly the opposite of being bold. It's language castration, and Stanford is now the place for eunuchs. Finally, another word Stanford doesn't like, stupid. Instead, say boring or uncool, but I prefer saying Stanford. Let us welcome tonight's guest. She's so blunt that Snoop tries to smoke her. Host of Sonny's Corner on Sirius XM Patriot, Sonny Johnson. He runs up the score on liberal bores. Co-host of Fox and Friends Weekend, Will Cage. Her ideas are so bright you can use them as Christmas lights. Financial analyst Heather Zabaraga! And when he decks the halls, you'll have to replace the drywall. My massive sidekick in the NWA World Heavyweight Champion, Tyrus. Sonny, welcome back to the show. Happy holidays.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you.
I'm reclaiming it.
You're reclaiming? Good for you. Do you think this attempt at kind of like removing words is a sincere effort, or there's something else going on? Something nefarious, if you will.
No, I'm going to be revolutionary here and say it's white supremacy.
Yeah.
That's all it is. Like when you look at it and you say it's institutionalized speech, right? Mm-hmm. And then you look at who started it, and when they're starting to say grammar is racist. Yes. Learning proper English is racist. Well, the people that started the institutionalized racism also made that grammar. So I'm thinking all of it is racist. So I don't have to play by any of your damn rules.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna drop the G's off my word. Mm-hmm. I like to ask for a drink of water instead of ask. Just anything I can do to buck the system to really stick it to white supremacy and let them know they can't control my language.
That's really good. You know what? I think I'm going to become an ask murderer.
See, there you go.
We can all meet at the library and we can figure it out.
But if they get, you got to think about it like the people that created institutionalized racism in the terms of grammar are now also the people that get to change the grammar. At which point do you lose your power? Mm-hmm. If you it up the first time, why are we gonna give you a second time to go back and redo the words? No, you had your chance. When you had your chance, it became institutionalized racism, so I'm gonna fight white supremacy and not listen to you.
There you go. All right, Sonny. Will, you know that you can't say beating a dead horse, which raises the question, how will the horse know it's dead? And I would prefer that you beat something dead.
Why can't you say beating a dead horse?
Because I think it's like it implies animal cruelty.
Wow, the categories are really broad.
Mm-hmm. Did you say broad?
Thank you. Thank you for
You are
teaching
the secret sexist.
No, it's a learning moment for me.
Yes,
I appreciate
teachable.
you educating me.
I hope that you absorb this teachable moment and bring it back to the racist at Fox and Friends Weekend.
I can't speak for the two ladies. Our age,
Women
vintage,
and WOMYN.
Our age of vintage, Tyrus Gregg. Remember the movie Boomerang, Eddie Murphy, Martin Lawrence? Mm-hmm. In that movie, Martin Lawrence played Eddie Murphy's crazy, everything is racist conspiracy theory friend. Do you remember?
Yeah.
And there's a scene when they're at the pool hall, and he says, I see it now. You see the game? the pool table is green like the earth, and the game is for the white ball to knock off all of the colored balls, and you don't win the game until you take out the black ball.
Word.
No.
And everybody goes, wow, and he's their crazy friend. Now, he would have a doctoral thesis at Stanford. He'd be a contributing writer at The Atlantic, and he would give Ibram X. Kendi a run for his money as a bestseller.
That's true. But you know what? That seems pretty sensible
Yeah.
to me.
No,
I think
the
you
black
convinced
ball will
me
have
that
to
this
get
is
knocked
white
first.
supremacy.
Yeah, the black ball will have to get knocked first, because if the black ball wasn't given preferential treatment, then you're back to white supremacy.
That's true. And then the end result is you got some buddy's balls in your pocket. Joe, Heather, welcome back. It's been like a dog's age. Can I say that?
Check the list.
I know. A canine's age. I'm sorry. What drives me crazy about this is a lot of this stuff, if you didn't know about it, it wouldn't matter. Like, I didn't know, never heard about Basket Case. Basket Case to me is somebody who's so, I'm a basket case. Like, I'm neurotic all the time. I had no idea it meant somebody was being carried around in a basket. Now I'm bothered by that image.
Well, I actually was probably the only one that read through all. I think there were 13 pages of words. They had
you saying we're
crazy,
lazy?
insane. No, but you have like a short synopsis version.
Yes.
The word insane, Will, you just said, referred to us as ladies. That has also been banned. Any gender term was banned by Stanford. It's only gender-neutral terms now. I can't figure out what you would replace prisoner and prostitute with. That wasn't in your intro.
Free citizen.
Did you? Free citizen. But when I was reading through the 13-page dictionary of banned words, I thought this extends outside of the educational institutions into the corporate world as well. And all of these companies, the HR divisions, are making all of these policies to cover their butts from lawsuits from the PC police. You look at what happened with Disney and the impact of them jumping on the woke bandwagon, alienating a bunch of their customers. Now you look at Elon Musk, although I agree with what he's doing, being a free speech advocate and getting involved in politics or any of this woke type of stuff really get you in trouble. He's lost a ton of money. I mean, you may be on his level now, Greg.
Oh, thank you.
Type of income. So it's a bad business decision, I think, for the corporate world. It's expanded, unfortunately, outside of an Ivy League institution, which you'd expect from.
There you go, Tyrus. I'm not sure we can say alienating.
That alien.
That wasn't.
You know, first of all, it took 18 months to do this.
Yeah.
And a team of scientists. So, to Will's point, he's right. The idiots are running the show with titles now. The term that really bothered me, the name that well, first of all, the American thing, kiss my ass, it's America. But the thing that really bothered me was they wanted to get rid of the word grandfather.
Right.
And their explanation was absolutely ridiculous because as a black man, to make it to be grandfather is a big deal. And to have children to grandfathered around that you helped raise is a big deal. I'm going to be grandfather. I might even put some extra on it. I might just be grandpapa. I don't know. But I'm going to be grand, and I'm going to be celebrated. And I don't, to my kids, when you start procreating, no ties. I want good gifts. But it just, this is the dumbing down of society. Luckily, you know, we don't go to Stanford.
Yeah.
So I would take your $60,000 and start looking at some really good Division II schools, some trade schools.
DeVry.
DeVry. University of Phoenix is beautiful this time of year.
Yes. Perfect. All right.
But yeah, when they start telling you what you can and cannot say, it's time to not go to that school.
It's time to run away.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.